And go. Introduce
I'm
yourself.
Alex. I'm Christian.
And today,
And today we're going to be helping our mama for homework
and talking about
and talking about
deviance
deviance and crime
and the theories that go along with it.
and the theories that go along with it. Deviance is when someone violates a defined norm. However, because deviance is culturally defined, an act or behavior that is deemed deviance by a culture, group, or era in time may not be the same in other. Examples such as unmarried couples living together, picking your nose in public, or even bleating loudly are or have been considered a violation of social norms in our culture. While you may not have broken the law with a penalty attached, you have acted out in a way that is unacceptable to others.
Christian, crime.
Crime is defined as a violation of any formal law, meaning that there is a legal expectations associated with the behavior, along with outlined punishment. Also, there are legal consequences attached to crime.
It is considered
The front category of a deviant. You must note that every act
that is
deviant
is not a crime, but all crime is considered
deviant.
Alex, what is an example of deviant?
An example of deviant is when you're in the middle of you're in a store, and you're either a child or a fully grown male. You start to just pick your nose, and then you see an aisle that's empty and just you, and you wonder that, but you shouldn't be because of what you have been doing.
Christian, what is an example of crime?
Crime is when somebody stole something from a store.
Sophia, what happens if you steal things from a store? Do you go to jail?
I didn't remember you said.
Can you go to jail? All of you, what happens if you commit a crime?
It depends. You'll go to jail
For a whole year.
For a whole year.
and it depends on what crime you commit.
Actually, you might actually go to jail for 30 years or 40 because.
And if you're a child, then you'll go to juvenile. Is that what it's called?
Juvenile jail.
Juvenile.
It's because since you
It's a jail. It's a prison for kids.
The three sociological theories, the functionalism theory, conflict theory, and symbolic interaction theory, all have their own perspectives that analyze crime. For example, stealing. With the functionalist perspective, would be considered as stealing is the normal. Everybody at one point in their life steals, and it's something that they do, and typically as a child, and then they are taught that it is no longer normal to steal. So functionalist theory states, is simply implying it's normal for you to steal at some point in your life, whether you're a young child or a teenager or even an adult, and you have to be taught that that is not okay. Conflict theory perspective basically defines that the behavior threatens the interest of the wealthy. So somebody comes onto your back porch and steals your belongings or your bicycles or things that you have, or somebody breaks into your home and steals from you. You are considered the wealthy, and the person stealing from you does not have those things, and they are not considered wealthy. The socialist, so symbolic interaction theory has its own perspective on things. This basically explains, states that why crime occurs and deviance occurs. They have two possible reasons why deviance occurs. They use the differential association theory, and they use the labeling theory. With the labeling theory, they associate it with the perspective that this theory suggests society's reaction to behavior is a major factor in defining a person. Telling a child, conditioning a child's mind by telling them that they're not good enough and that they're a bum and or idiot is a theory in the sociological or the symbolic interaction that child will grow up and commit crimes and therefore steal. So because that child has been conditioned throughout their whole life, that's the reason why they grew up to steal, because they were told they were never good enough with symbolic interactionism. I chose stealing to best explain the causes of crime today because of the neighborhood I happen to live in. Unfortunately, there is a huge population of homeless and low-income people, and unfortunately they tend to steal from those. The most popular item they tend to steal is bicycles. For example, they have stolen one of my children's bicycles from them, and other many people who spend their hard-earned money. However, some of these people steal bicycles because that's their only mode of transportation to get around and to carry things. Others steal it because they just want to for fun, and others may be under the influence of some type of drug or what have you, and that's why they steal. I hope this video was informational and it covered all the points, and I hope you were able to learn about deviance and crime and how they differentiate from each other. Deviance for us is a lot of actions. For example, my children are told not to act certain ways in public, so they will be deviant because we could be out in public and then they will throw a fit or scream and fight with each other when they're not supposed to. Committing a crime, on one hand, would be more or less stealing from somebody, knowing that they shouldn't steal from that place or person or what have you. Thank you for your time. And my name is Brittany Garcia, and this is for my Intro to Sociology class.